again, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tas Patron and I'm your host, and I'm joined by my co-host Fihliwe, and this is The Partnership. Today's episode, we have a very special guest. We have Boipelo, and we're going to be asking her a few questions, and we're going to be conversating about a specific topic which Fihliwe is going to tell us about. So just to start things off, Boipelo, can you just give us a brief background about yourself? What do you do? Where you from? Just so the people just know you a bit more.
Okay, hi guys. Thank you for having me on the show. So Boipelo is a girl from Brentford who's been in the entertainment industry for the past 10 years, but like locally. Currently I am an actress, a K2KC media actress. I also do modeling as well here in Bloemfontein.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm currently busy with.
Alright, right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Fishy, what are we speaking about today?
Welcome, Boipelo.
Thank you.
Today we're speaking about daddy issues. I think we did not be specific on exactly which angle we're taking, but we'll just speak on it like broadly on your experiences. So we'll start off with how your relationship with your father was, especially because you mentioned that he passed away at a very early age.
Yeah. So I had a very good relationship with my father. After his death, I actually started being better towards my mom. I fought with her a lot, and part of me, I don't know if I was childish or what, I kind of wish that during those fights, I'd even tell her, for Mom, I wish you were the one who passed away and that my dad was still here. That's how much I loved my father. So him not being here, it has really affected me, and it has affected the way I look at everything, relationships. My relationship with my mom, it has been very rocky, and a whole lot of other things.
So we can say that like your dad's loss created like the daddy issues, and it's not that they stemmed from him being a bad father, but his absence was the problem.
His absence was the problem, because I feel like if he was in my life, a lot of things would have gone differently. So because he passed away, now I have to face life with only my mom, and my dad is not there, somebody who I loved so dearly. Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that your mom did get into like a relationship, and how did you go about with that?
I was not happy. I was not happy, guys. I was not happy. Like, I chased the boyfriend away. I didn't want a new father. I still feel that no one can replace my father. There was no one like him. There can never ever be anyone like him. So my mom did have a boyfriend or two, but I wasn't happy. I didn't like those boyfriends, so that's why she's single right now.
Do you think that's fair?
I don't think it's fair, but at the end of the day, she's my mom. I want her all to myself. I feel like if somebody else, a new man, comes into our lives, and I don't want him to replace my dad. That's the thing.
Don't you want to look at it in the angle that he's not replacing your father? Your father is not here. He's no longer here, like physically with you. He's there spiritually. But now you have someone that is there to love your mom and to play a male role in your life.
I guess I didn't think of it that way back then. But maybe now I'd be open to my mom having somebody in her life, because she's getting older now. She needs somebody to grow older with, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to ask, are you currently in a relationship with anyone?
I am in a relationship.
Okay.
Yes.
And I would like to know, does it ever happen to you whereby you unconsciously find yourself seeking for like your father's love and his presence in whoever your partner is?
Yeah, the thing about me has always been that whoever comes into my life, he has to be just like my father. The man my father was. The kind of love my father shared with my mom. If I don't see that in a guy, if I don't get that kind of love I want out, I won't settle for less. And I always tell myself that one day when I get married, I want to get married to a guy just like my father. Yeah.
Don't you feel though it kind of, how can I put it? It limits your pool of how, obviously, I mean, like, when I'm speaking about pool, I'm referring to obviously the guys. But it's good that obviously you have a partner now, meaning he has a lot of qualities that he has that your dad had.
Yeah.
What I'm asking is in the qualities that he doesn't have, that your dad does have, since he loves him so dearly. What do you do then when you find yourself like, because I'll make an example, you will probably end up getting to a situation, not that I'm saying you would do this, but you end up saying like, nah, but my dad wouldn't have done this, like, because you love your dad so dearly. Don't you ever come across those type of...
I do. It does limit me. That's why most of my relationship never lasted, because they just weren't what I wanted, you know? So even now, the guy that I'm with, he's not all the way, like, you know, but he's okay. He's trying. So, but yeah, it does limit me, because now I can't help. Every time I'm sitting with him, every time he does something, I compare him to I compare our relationship to the kind of relationship my parents had. So, yeah, it does affect my relationships. It has affected my relationships badly. Yeah.
So, considering that you said you have a child, right?
Yes.
A daughter.
It's a son.
It's a son.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. How is your relationship with the baby daddy?
It's been rocky. I actually broke up with the baby daddy 7 years ago when my child was 2 months old, because he was cheating and I couldn't put up with that, so I left him. So it hasn't been good. Even these past few years, he's been trying to get back together with me, but I couldn't let him back in, because I saw that other side of his. So now I feel like he can't just change just like that out of the blue and want to come back into my life again. You know, yeah.
But how, like, him being a father to your child, is it, don't you feel like also you expect him to show up the same way your father showed up for you?
I do, but yeah, I do realize with giving love for a dude, like, you need to step up your game, like, you know, there are things that my father, it goes back to what I was saying, comparing my father to the relationship that I have, comparing that relationship, my relationships, to my father and my mom's relationships. So now, things that my baby daddy does and doesn't do, I always tell him, I call him out, I'm like, you should be doing this, why aren't you doing this? So yeah, that relationship has also been very rocky.
Do you think it would be fair if your current partner or even your baby daddy compares you to their mother and they start showing you your weaknesses, your flaws, and they're like, no, but you're not being perfect in a sense, you know, like, because you're doing that with them, and in a way it also limits who they are, because in a way you're limiting their growth. People have to make mistakes so they can become better. So now you constantly reminding them that this is how my dad did things, I want you to do things this way. But they're not your father.
Yeah. And then I feel like, as that, we have choices, we have preferences. If you feel like I'm not what you're looking for, you're more than welcome to go and look for it elsewhere. You feel me? So yeah.
So you're not willing to compromise at all?
No, I'm not. I can't settle, guys. I can't settle. I've seen love. I've seen, like I've already mentioned, I've seen the way my dad loved my mom. So I can't settle.
How old were you when your father passed away?
I was 11.
And I would like to know when obviously your dad passed away and your mother has been obviously having like different partners trying to work things out, and you said you played a role in making sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like people do experience such issues, because I like to mention it as an issue, but don't you feel like there's other healthier ways of solving such problems than, it's all the time we look at the negative. We can always like resolve things in a healthier way.
Like I've already mentioned, I've had a very rocky relationship with my mom. I wasn't like the type to sit down with her and talk to her about stuff. So maybe if we had that kind of relationship, now we do talk. We talk a lot because we missed out on so much. But I feel like back then, if we had that kind of relationship and we talked about things, maybe things would have been better. Yeah.
So you suggest that talking helps?
Yeah, talking, definitely, yeah.
Also, did you go for counseling after the loss of your father?
Yeah, my mom did take me for counseling, I think for like only a month. So it wasn't really that long. So yeah, I feel like I should have gone for more counseling. Yeah.
Like when you say a month, was it like weekly sessions?
Yeah, because I was very young. I'm trying to remember actually. I think it was weekly sessions.
But did it work? How was your experience with counseling?
It was just okay. Or maybe we can blame it on the fact that Kilena was the person I was seeing who was counseling me. But I feel like it didn't really do much of a difference. It didn't have much of an impact because now I still think of my father and I still have issues and I still long for him and I still wish he was alive and all that stuff. So clearly that counseling, it didn't work. I feel like I need more counseling. Even now at this stage of my life, I wouldn't mind going for counseling. Yeah.
Have you tried both speaking about it with your mother or trying to seek for help elsewhere out there, like seeing a social worker or?
Where my father is concerned?
Yes.
No, not really, no, I haven't. She doesn't know how I feel, but she does know that I miss my dad. When I dreamt about my dad or I long for him, I tell her that, Mom, I miss my dad. Dad used to do this and all that stuff. But I don't talk about other things like deep stuff. So only, yeah.
I'd like to know, like, how do you play it in? I'm sure, guessing from obviously your baby daddy cheating.
Yeah.
That most of the time you probably play the daddy role and being a mother to your son.
My son, yeah.
So how do you go about that, especially like you said, what real love is from getting it from your daddy. So how do you play those two roles? Because I'm guessing the father is absent most of the time.
Yeah. I can only do so much. That's why I call my baby daddy out when he's done wrong. That dude, you should be doing this. This is what you're supposed to be doing as a father. When are you gonna start acting up and be a father? I can only do so much as a mother. Yeah.
And has that affected your son in a way?
It has.
Can you just tell us
how? Like I'm starting to. He has anger issues. He does. I feel like, from what has been happening, from what he has seen from a very early age. So that's what brought that on. Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate there. So like, when you do speak to the father, obviously he is also trying to play a role, but I actually sure he's also limited. Hence, he's also probably trying to fix the relationship with you. Because I feel like for him to get closer to his son, he needs to fix the relationship with you.
Yeah.
But now the problem is, obviously, he's done mistakes, and I understand you saying you don't trust it. What other way do you see that can resolve that for him to be closer to the son, and obviously him trying a different way besides him trying to get through you to get to the son? It's very difficult.
I guess we're gonna have to be friends. I mean, we are parents after all. We brought a human being into this world, so we might as well work together instead of against each other. So I guess we're gonna have to form a very strong relationship not relationship, friendship rather, so that we can raise our son the way we want him to be raised, and he can get that kind of love that every child deserves. So yeah.
So you open to trying like a friendship with him?
Friendship, nothing more.
Is that in the process of happening, or it's something that you're planning towards doing?
In the future, I'm still angry at him, you know, somebody who, I don't know, I don't want to say messed your life up, but somebody who, you know, when you become a parent, your life changes and stuff, you know. So something this huge, he gave me a child, he made me a mom, and he wasn't man enough to actually be responsible. So I still resent him for stuff that happened in the past. So yeah, that friendship, I don't know when it will happen. I guess I'll just have to work through my resentment and stuff before we can be friends.
So can I have an open question to you as well? We find that people have daddy issues, like as it is now, your father's absence in your life has caused daddy issues. You long for him, you resent other men that try and replace your father. They're not trying to replace him. Also have a stepdad, so I don't think they try to replace him as such. But people have daddy issues. Your child also has daddy issues right now, hence he's angry. And it's rare to find people saying, I have money issues. I've never heard that term before. I grew up in a society where we all had like our mothers, but our fathers were all absent. Like as a young child when I was growing up, all my friends, not all, but most of them didn't have fathers, but they all had mothers. So I want like both of you to tell me, I'll start with you Tess, as a man, that why, like, how did, like, from your observations, how did we get here?
Firstly, I would like to rephrase your question, because we can't be saying daddy issues are based on absence only.
Yes, I'm not saying it's based on absence only. Hence I said people have daddy issues, but they don't have mommy issues. Like even when fathers are present, they also tend to be toxic or don't be there but not present. Like they're there but they're not really there.
To speak to that, it goes on to the bigger picture, which is men cheating at the end of the day, which leads mostly to many men being absent. I feel like the cheating, that men don't realize that once you start cheating, you're ruining your finance. There's no ways you're gonna afford everything. And when that happens, as soon as your finances are at a stage whereby they're not getting balanced, what are you gonna start doing? You're gonna start neglecting certain responsibilities. And most men that have multiple partners have also multiple children in those relationships. So when finances become a problem, they start neglecting certain responsibilities. Hence, many men shy away from those responsibilities and they seek and they run away from those responsibilities. Hence, we are in a situation where majority of daddies are actually absent in certain instances. And we also need to understand of how society is, whereby the man is unfortunately the one who's working all the time. We need to understand we are coming from a generation whereby our dads were working like far away from home and stuff like that. So they will always be absent. So we need to understand we come from a generation where fathers have been absent because of certain things they had to do. So that has obviously built up to where we're at now. I'd like to say at least there's an improvement. I feel like the mindset is kind of shifting to a point where I can't say there are mommy issues, but they're not that major. So I think it derives from way back then, which has led us to where we are right now. And the most important part that's causing all these problems is men cheating and not being able to maintain their finance.
I don't even think that's a finance thing only, because they also don't show up emotionally.
In my opinion, it goes up to that, and that's my view because I've experienced certain things, so I know. Yeah, that's my opinion. Yeah, you were saying though?
I was saying that even emotionally, they're not present. Like, they don't even know how to be a father without compensating financially. So I think it answers that, because society has made men to think that to be a man is to provide. Now when you don't have the means to provide, then you can't be a father, because being a father involves providing financially. And they don't realize how it leaves a child being so empty, needing like the love, the presence, the attention from their father, especially with boys.
Okay. Yeah.
Not only especially with boys, even girls. So I want to know, like, have you ever, do you want to answer also to go on that? Yeah, I asked for all of us. So let me not miss it.
Adding on to what you guys said, finance definitely does play a huge role. I mean, the unemployment rate in this country is very high. So now I feel like that's one of the reasons why men can't commit. Because I feel like commitment, like you've already said, you're gonna need money. You know, if you need to take care, if you're gonna have to take care of your child, your baby mama, get married, and all that stuff. And people are unemployed out here. So yeah, I feel like finance, money. Yeah.
I beg to differ, but it's fine. It's fine. I really feel like if you want to make things work, you
can. Yeah.
You do. Yeah. And it all depends on how much you're willing to give and how much you're willing to sacrifice as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like men are just selfish beings. Like, they're very selfish. So they always choose themselves in situations. Yes. That one I can step on it and say, oh men, whoever that is against can comment and do whatever, but men are selfish beings. And I don't think also it's a selfish thing. I think it's a self-love thing. But they do it sometimes in situations where you're supposed to love and to sacrifice, and and men will always choose themselves. It's rare to find a man that is willing to give his all to the people that he loves. They're there, but not a lot. So hence we end up saying, like, we use terms like men are trash, men are selfish. Yes. So we can't keep on saying not all men, because most men are doing that, and we need more men to start being accountable for that.
I agree there. Definitely. And I would like to ask now, how is your mother also taking losing, obviously, the man that loved her so much? And has that affected also how she perceives the men that she's trying to obviously have a relationship with in the present and for the future, basically? Because your dad probably loved her so much that that love is irreplaceable.
So I think my mom is a very strong woman. So even if maybe she is feeling that sadness and anger and all that stuff, I haven't really seen it. She hides it so well. She's so strong. So yeah, I think she hides it very well, because like you've already said, for you to lose somebody who meant that much to you, who loved you the way my father loved her, it changes you as a person. So, but yeah, because she's so strong, I think she's handled it very well. Yeah.
So moving past all your experiences, right, and after the conversation that we had, I think you can say that maybe it was a bit therapeutic. So, like, from your position, how would you advise men out there to go about like having a child with someone? And like, also, what advice would you give to men in general, like being in relationships with younger girls, like when you're still young? How do they go about the whole thing of like maybe teenage pregnancy, and just when you're a bit young, like 20, 21, and you're still not financially stable?
My advice would be to wait till you're ready financially and all that stuff.
But now it has happened.
It has happened. So now you're gonna have to step up. Your life changes. Like, I feel like you don't have a choice. Why are you even choosing to be irresponsible? You knew what you were doing when you were intimate with this person without protection, right? So now you should step up and be responsible. If not for the mother of your child, for your child. So I think more black men need to start being responsible. Yeah.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
And I would like to know, what can you also say to the kids that are experiencing having daddy issues, daddy's not being there, daddy's being abusive, and from your experience, what can you say, like how can the kids obviously react, and how can they obviously try and move forward with those experiences, having experienced like losing a dad and then it caused issues for you?
Yeah, I would say they should go for counseling, because speaking to somebody helps. It definitely does help. It's therapeutic, and also value and respect the one parent that you left with. Because build a very strong relationship with that one parent that you left with, because that's the only parent you left with in this world.
I like that. That's true. True. And like before we get to the next part of our conversation, I would like you to just conclude how, like, from your experiences, what people should like obviously do and what they can implement. Just a brief conclusion about your experiences and a way for people to move forward.
Okay, if people are having daily issues, like I've already said, talking is very it's very important. Even if it's not like with a doctor or whatever, find somebody in the family that you trust, somebody you can talk with about your issues, about your fears and stuff, instead of just bottling it in and then you end up becoming this angry person. Because I feel like I bottled things up. That's why I was so angry with my mom, and that's why we fought a lot. So I feel like if I spoke maybe to somebody I trusted, or even spoke to my mom, things would have been better. They would have turned out differently. So I would recommend talking. Talking does help. Yeah.
Okay, do you also have anything to say?
No, I agree with her. I'm a huge fan of talking and counseling. But I also believe that self-introspection is very important, because sometimes you can't just shift things to, like, let's say for instance, like with the loss of your father, and like you keep on reasoning your actions on because I lost my dad, because I think it's very important to self-introspect. I was also very angry at my father. I was also very angry at like men in general, but I've got to see that it says a lot about who I am. Yes, this person wronged me and wronged my mom, but me being angry, like the emotions that I carry with me, say so much about the person that I am. And also it reflects the space that I'm in, because sometimes you just have to accept that this is my situation, this is my life, God placed me here in this manner, and I have to accept it and move on. So I think the most important thing is sometimes you just have to make peace with things that you cannot change. Just move on from them and look at things in the like look at things with love, look at things with forgiveness, be more kind to people for the decisions that they made sometimes. Like maybe say with your baby daddy, like, don't be too harsh and judgmental. Like he might be going through stuff, or he might be going through a phase, but just let him be, and don't carry his irresponsibility with you and be angry, because now it's weighing you off. So I think that's the advice I can give to anyone else, because for me the daddy issues thing is like very personal. So I get it, I lived it. It's my life. Yeah.
I hear you guys, and I'd like to move on to things on a lighter note. I feel like it's getting tense today. So we have a quiz for you.
Okay.
It's 8 questions. If you can get 7, you're gonna be our highest. Right now we are in the highest is what? 80.
8.
It's still 8. Okay.
It's
So
80%.
it's 80% basically. So, okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
How many countries does South Africa share the border with?
Next question.
No, you gotta, I'm gonna give you options. She was like, next question. Okay, the options are 8, 3, 7, and 6. 8, 3, 7, and 6.
3.
3 countries.
Yeah.
Incorrect. It's
Okay.
6 countries.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. So I will move on to the next one. When was the series Soul City? I don't know if you still remember Soul City.
Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah.
Soul City.
When was it first aired? These are your options: 1994, 1997, 1990. I repeat: 1994, 1997, and 1990.
I'll go for 1997.
Incorrect. Alright, you are left with 6 questions.
Okay.
This was a bit tricky. She should know. What is the police provincial head called in SA? I'll repeat the question again. What is the police provincial head called in SA? These are your options. Provincial commissioner. Your English.
No, why?
Sure. Provincial commissioner, police headmaster, or sergeant. I repeat: police commissioner, police headmaster, or sergeant. Like Sergeant Keys or something.
Police commissioner.
Jeez, wow, correct. Well done.
Hey.
Okay, you have 1 from 3. I'm sure you can improve. Okay, how far is Durban to Johannesburg? Your options are 567 Ks, 467 Ks, or 667 Ks. I'll give you another go. It's 567 Ks or 467 Ks, and lastly 667 Ks.
567 Ks.
Jeez, she was very confident with that one. Well done, correct. Well done, that was a good answer.
Thank you.
Next one, please name the mayor of Buffalo City. Buffalo City is in Eastern Cape. These are your options: Ola Pagati, Senzo Mnguni, Tim Duncan. I repeat: Ola Pagati, Senzo Mnguni, Tim Duncan.
Senzo something.
What is up and people choosing the Senzo? It's incorrect. Ola Pagati.
Maybe say Kosa.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the largest province in South Africa? This one you don't have options. Largest in terms of size.
Gauteng.
Gauteng! Now I'm gonna give you another
That's the
go.
smallest.
That's the
That's the
smallest.
smallest.
Is it?
Yeah, not in terms of population.
Yeah.
In terms of size, like land size. What is the biggest?
KZN.
I'm gonna give you the last opportunity. KZN is not the one.
I don't know.
You can take a guess.
Guys, it's Ljubljana.
Ooh, it's the driest.
The drive.
Driest. And it gets very hot.
KZN.
KZN!
It's not dry.
Okay,
It's really hot.
incorrect. Northern Cape. It's okay. Next question. You left with 2 questions now.
Okay.
Name 2 major ethnic groups in South Africa.
Do you have options or?
No, you don't have options.
Okay. Blacks.
No, let me elaborate. Ethnic groups. So I'm just talking about. We have Afrikaans, Soto. We have Piri. We have Venda. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So which
Okay.
2
2.
are the largest? Yes.
and say Sotho and Xhosa.
Do we give it to her? You got one of the two. I feel like people don't think there's a lot of Zulu people, clearly.
There are a lot of
Like-
Zulu. I don't know why people don't think like
Dude.
Gauteng has a lot of Zulu people.
Yeah.
KZN has a lot of Zulu
Zulu.
people. Western Cape has Xhosa people. Eastern
And we
Cape
the
has Xhosa
dopest,
people.
and we the dopest in the country. but,
Really?
but it was Zulu, and
Xhosa.
closer.
Okay.
Close enough, I'll give it to you for getting the other half. So,
Thank you.
last question. How many Grammys does Lady Smith Black Mambazo have? This one you have options.
Okay.
There's 5, 4, 3, and 1. 5, 4, 3, or 1.
3.
3 Grammys. Incorrect. It's 5. 5. Yeah, that one is a very tricky one. I also would have said 3 because I never thought like 5 Grammys is something else. Eh? So unfortunately, you couldn't beat the best that we've had. But well done, nonetheless.
Thank
And
you.
Boipelo, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Like you really like gave a lot of wisdom, and I got to learn from your experiences, and definitely I hope the viewers also learned a lot of things.
Yeah.
And also the stuff that you told people that there's always ways, there's always solution to any problem, and I feel like daddies out there and South African men in general will also pick up a lot of things from what you had to say, and we really appreciate it. And thanks again for being here. We really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
And guys, yeah, that is it for this episode. Thanks so much to Boipelo for pulling through. We really enjoyed the conversation. And also, if you guys also have anything to say, please make sure that you comment below about the conversation that we had today. And make sure that you also like and subscribe. And please make sure that you also comment any topics that you guys would like us to speak about. We'll see you next time. And this is the
Partnership.